Oh, hello, world. Welcome to Comic Book News. I'm your old pal, Dan Shaheen. I'm going to try to emphasize a different syllable every time I say that. Today, what do we got? My favorite show, The Million Dollar Mailbox. This is the third $1 million mailbox with special guest Larry Young. This is the only show Larry's ever done for me is the $1 million mailbox. I don't know why I picked this guy. Just, you know, when you watch him, the guy's got creds in the indie comics publishing route. He's got just a knack for commercial stuff and storytelling, and he's fun to talk to on camera. He shares a name with my dog. We like Larry. And when I had a comic book store, I will say this: I had a favorite customer. You can't say it when you have a store, but my all-time favorite customer was a guy named Limo Larry. He was the longest running customer. He shops there to this day. He shopped there before I started working there. I started working there in 1986 at the tender age of 11. Larry was already Limo Larry, and he's Limo Larry to this day. And he taught me many things about comics, about running a business, about jazz music. He's a musician and a music aficionado and a lover of comics and a lover of life. Larry inspired me in a lot of ways. Anyway, favorite Larrys. Not to mention, everyone knows the funniest stooge. It's Larry. Larry is the glue that binds together the other stooges. I'm going to talk about Larry's. Well, because Larry Young is going to come in. We're going to talk comics. We're going to look at a bunch of stuff that people have mailed me. So people have been mailing me comics all year to the $1 million mailbox. And let's look at what do you mean? Where? Here. To Comic Book News, $1 million mailbox. Oh, that's the dumb one. Is that the good one? No, that one works. Comic Book News, P.O. Box 1163. Arcata, California, 95518. We want to hear from you. This is the new official theme song of the Comic Book News $1 million mailbox. I found this online. I wrote to the guy on YouTube. I don't have his name here. I'll put him in the credits. I haven't put it yet. But he has such a great collection of stuff. Theme songs and video game theme songs. Hey, no one but Donald Duck. All right. So mail your comics to the $1 million Comics Cam, Comic Book News, P.O. Box 1163, Arcata, California, 95518. And what will happen? What will happen if you take your comics that you worked so hard on and you put them in the mail and give them to me for free? Well, I'll put them on the $1 Million Comics Cam, and I'll talk about them with Larry or somebody if Larry's not available. So, what else have we got? Oh, one more piece of news. I want to start doing live reads, and I promise I'm going to trade. I promise to do a live read every show for Make More Comics. Let me bring that graphic up. I got it right here somewhere. Yeah, Make More Comics, an arts micro grant to support independent comics publishing. It's exactly what it sounds like, which is ridiculous. That this guy will give you free money to make the comics that you want. Like, you show him your comics, you show him what you're working on. He doesn't want to pitch. He doesn't want a sketchbook or a brilliant idea. He just wants to see that you can put ink on paper and tell a story. If you can do that, he's got some cashola for you to help you put your comics into print. Why do we care about print? Because I don't review digital comics here. I'm sorry. I get them all the time. I get a lot. If I just reviewed the comics that I got PDFs of, I would be able to do show after show after show of what's probably has to be some good stuff in there, but how would I know? Because I'm not looking at PDFs, dude. I look at the screen all day. I want to look at comics. So send me your paper comics and I'll look at them. Fair enough. All right. Without further ado, I want to bring in my partner in crime on the $1 Million Mailbox, Commander, Lieutenant Commander, Larry Young.
Hey, Dan.
Larry, what's your official ranking and designation? I don't remember.
Geez, I don't know. Lieutenant Commander that's not good. Commander, at least. Field, some kind of field promotion. I don't know.
Are we risking those stolen sci-fi valor if you do that?
I have a great story about that.
Yeah.
Do you remember my old pal Ian Yarborough? He bought me a Sulaco hat from Aliens, and it looks kind of like this. I have all these veteran hats, but the USS Chicken Gumbo, they're all jokes, right?
Yeah.
But I have a Sulaco hat.
Let me ISO you there. There we go. Yeah.
Yeah. There you go. It's it's just a joke. And this is actually my kid and his friends, their starship. But yeah, Ian got me a hat from Aliens. I was walking around San Diego, and some guy stopped me and went, "Hey, so are you a veteran? You former military?" And I'm like, "No, I am the opposite of like former military." And I have whatever the opposite of a military bearing is. That's me. Like, I eat Doritos and sit on the couch. But I guess I look like some kind of Navy guy gone to sea.
Oh, dude, you've got that look. Are you kidding me?
Commander,
you're in the conning tower, or you're in a submarine. You're somewhere on a boat telling people what to do, and they're listening to you.
Anyway, I was wearing that hat at a Trader Joe's, and some guy started tearing up. He's like, "Thank you for your service. My son is in the Army," and I was like, I didn't want to explain it to him, so I was just like, "Thank you, sir. Tell your son to do his job and come home, and thank you for your service as an Army father." And I'm just never going to wear this hat in public again. That was just too much for me.
Thank you for your service in the Starship Troopers. Never forget Buenos Aires.
Right, exactly. Do you want to live forever?
Okay, man. Larry, you ready to look at some comics with me or what, buddy?
Yeah, man. The Viewer Mail Comics is the best thing ever. $1 Million Mailbox.
Let's do this thing. I
loved it. I love doing this. I would do this forever. I would eat lunch and do this.
Let's see. How do we do this? We do it like this, and then we do it like this, and then we do it like this.
And then you did it with a wiffle ball bat.
Boom! $1 Million Comics Camp. Oh, but I forgot. I gotta. Oh, my wireless thing is not working so great. So let me do the thing I gotta do here and shrink it down. All right, Larry. So. This one got sent to me a long time ago. I'm not showing them in exact chronological order that I received them, but I got this one a while and it's been on my pile and it's been bothering me because it's pretty cool. And I'm also trying to start with the stuff that I feel is like, it's already there, right? Like this is a good delivered commercial. So what are we going to tell this guy?
Right, exactly. That's a sharp package, I'll tell you that right now.
It's nice. So he sent me some of the regular sized issues and then the actual full graphic novel, volume 1, which is a smaller trim size. I'm going to say this is the size of the future on graphic novels, the smaller trim size for the mass market. I think it's smart.
What is that, about 6x9?
Yeah, let's see. This is standard comic
that's
size.
That's the standard floppies. Yeah, that's probably.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you can see what's going on there.
Huh. I wonder why you did that. You have to reformat all the art. That's pretty cool.
Well, so let's take a look inside. I'm going to look at the floppies just because they're easier to look at. And this is, okay, what is it? It's biblical Western action as you like it. It's a story of angels in the Old West and demons and the story of Morningstar and Satan, but told in with a Western setting.
I love that the sheriff badge is a pentagram upside down. That's amazing right there. That really tells.
That's cool.
Yeah, that tells you all you need to know if you're going to like it or not.
Did you watch Cowboys and Aliens?
Oh yeah, I love that.
I don't know that I ever like fully watched the whole thing, but I just thought that kind of genre mashup is something that's so fun. Yeah. That one didn't hit, but like it's rich, it's fertile territory.
That movie was amazing. The whole like how it became a movie is kind of stupid. You know that story, right? But I liked it.
Well, this guy, his name is Gerimi Burleigh. Okay, and which are both kind of fairly common sounding names, but spelled in a weird way. Check it out. Gerimi Burleigh. Like, yeah. I went back and forth on this because I go, if my parents are going to name me a common name like Jeremy, like, don't give me a spelling that I can't, that nobody knows what to call me. But then I go, it's genius because I'm the only Jeremy with a G out there. So I don't know.
It does kind of look like Jeremy real fast, though, doesn't it?
Or Gerimi, and it might be actually. I don't really know how it's pronounced. He's got a great website. There's links in the description here to his website. You can just, if you Google, actually his website was down when I checked it this morning. But if you just Google Morningstar Comics or Gerimi Burleigh or anything, you're going to find this on Amazon, Goodreads. He's worked it. He did his work. He got it out there.
Yeah, I love it.
It's in all the channels. I'm giving it a solid A just for effort and work. And storytelling wise and everything else, like the lettering, all the stuff we've talked about before, Larry.
Yeah.
None of the truly amateur things are here. Yeah. It's all there.
I was driving in the car today with my kid, and we were talking about the flip test, and that totally passes it. You just flip through it, and you're like, you see that logo? It's like, oh, I'm interested in this. I get what's going on. It's some kind of Western devil thing. And then you flip through it, and you're like, yeah, I'll read the hell out of this.
Yeah, why wouldn't I, right?
Yeah, and he's on issue 7, right? So it's not like some guy who blew his wad on issue 1. Look at all those thank yous too. Like he's taking care of business.
There's multiple arcs. He's got his Patreon going on. He's working all the modern angles for how you produce this thing. And you know what? He owns this thing, right? There's no publisher, but like this looks as good pretty much as anything coming out from any publisher, of a black and white saddle stitch comic or whatever. This is as high quality as it gets anyway.
I'll tell you one thing I love about it. Like, forget that it's professional, because you and me, that's the bar, right? Like, you have to be professional to be considered with everything else. But look at the back of issue 7.
Yeah.
Just flip that over. Hey, look, he's got his own sketch cover on the back.
Right. Why wouldn't you?
Oh, my God. Is that a genius idea?
Every one of them.
I wish that I had thought of that. That's how good an
Every
idea
one of them. Yeah. Because how could you not instantaneously at the con do a hand sales pitch and sell this thing with a sketch or whatever?
That's exactly what I was going to say. Is like, all you have to do is flip it over and go, hey, look, I'll draw you a quick head sketch or autograph it or something, whatever you want. How do you say no to that? Is there's a price on the cover, right?
On these ones, there is not.
Oh,
on this.
Got it. That's one thing they'll get you.
I'm not a fan of no price. I'm only a fan of no price if there's, I don't know, at least a UPC. I don't know what to say.
Yeah, I get that if those are con things, because then you can tell you have the conversation with people. But what does that do for? That just annoys the shopkeeper, right?
Well, that's the thing. This is not for
Yeah.
sale in shops. This was a kickstarted thing. So the
Oh, well,
readers
then
get
you
it,
don't
you know.
then that's perfect. I love it.
And then this comes along though, and it's got
Yeah,
an
that's ready to
ISB.
go.
It doesn't have a price.
It's
on it.
$9.
But yes, it does have a price on it. Yes,
Right.
exactly. I kind of like this. I kind of like that because honestly, because you want to sell this to Canada, they're going to put a different price tag on it for sure. You want to sell a lot of places, you might have to. Okay, so Morningstar, before he was the devil, he was Morningstar. Morningstar, Welcome to Heaven, Volume 1, Gerimi Burleigh. You get an A.
Yeah, I kind of feel badly because like that's a short conversation. Yes, that's excellent. I want to purchase that. Thank you.
Of course. And ones that are that good, like when we looked at Coin Op Carnival last time, and I brought in Ryan Clater and we talked to Ryan. Well, I'll reach out to this guy. Maybe we'll bring him in for a whole show. Okay, this next one. All right, this one, Larry. I'm going to be straight up. I have not read all of these yet because there's just too much. There's too much value here. Too soon for me. So let's talk about SitComics. Okay. These are SitComics. And yes, I was excited because I thought this was the 90s band, the Seattle band, the Super Suckers. Right. It's actually the exact opposite. But still fun. Now let's talk about SitComics for a second. Okay. This guy, Darin Henry, sent me these. And the pitch of SitComics is it's TV you read. Okay. Yeah. So Henry was a sitcom writer. He wrote apparently for Seinfeld and a bunch of other ones. I don't have his website up right here handy, but you could check it out. Links in the description. He put out this whole line of different books. Okay. You look at this one, it's sort of a comedy book. They're $3.99 each, 64-page saddle stitched with complete story arc in each issue. That's the pitch of the sitcom.
Yeah, that's amazing. That's good value right there.
And not all of them do this, but this one, to complete the sitcom TV you read experience, there are commercials. There are little funny commercial bits that are just different little comic strips, little funny comic strips thrown in here to complete the experience. Each one is like, it's got an Archie look to it, obviously. It's got a nice rating for teens and up, a bloody, funny vampire comic. I think this is like a parent looking at this is going to be, who doesn't know much about comics, is not going to be too confused about who this is for and who this is appropriate for. And is going to like the value of $3.99 for 64 pages, full color, a lot of story. Now, where it starts getting a little more exciting, okay? Let's look at Blue Baron for a second. And I open it up and I go, oh, written by Darin Henry and pencil art and ink art by some known, I don't know if you've ever heard of these. They're kind of obscure names, Larry. Have you ever heard of a guy called Ron Frenz?
Oh yeah, of course. The Spider-Man.
Or Sal Buscema?
What?
I think
That's great.
Yeah. So we got a pencil art by Ron Frenz and inks by Sal Buscema.
God, that's amazing.
And I'll be honest, I haven't read the whole story. I haven't read the whole comic yet because, like I said, I got them recently, and each one of them is 64 pages of not decompressed storytelling. I'll tell you that. Old school comic storytelling, lots of plot and lots of stuff happening to chew on.
And this is a modern comic, like you got this recently?
This was mailed to me. This was published in 2018, okay?
Because Sal Buscema is 84 years old or something.
I do know that. This was in 2018. But wait a minute.
Amazing.
Okay, so that's not all though. We'll look on the biggest surprise is going to be at the end. Hang on.
Okay.
All right. So and then we've got Z People.
Okay.
This is a zombie book. It's rated for teens and up.
I gotta say, I love just SitComics binge book. Like, that's just great.
Yeah, and this is like I regret to say I'm not familiar with this name. Wait a minute. Oh, art by who's this? Al who? Milgram? Have you heard that name before? I don't know. I
Al
don't like.
Milgram.
Are you kidding me? This guy's coming with legends. He's like, oh, here's these
Yeah,
legends. Check out my
that's
SitComics.
great. Now, where do these come from? Are these Kickstarters too?
No, this guy published them. This guy,
He's published it.
he lives in Santa Monica. Darin Henry. I just think he just wanted to publish comics. He loved comics. He's got a rep as a TV writer, and he's like, I can get some names. I can, and he's like, I know who the best people in the world are. Are you kidding me? I'll take an Al Milgram.
Yeah, he obviously knows what he's doing.
But look at this stuff.
It's incredible.
This is Mad Magazine, level. It's not Jack Davis, but man, it ain't too far away from what would be acceptable to me.
I love the production value. It's all perfect. It's like, this is great.
It feels like an old school hand comic. I have a little bit of problem with some of the trade dress feel a little on the dated side to me, but
maybe, it's Walmart vintage, right?
Yeah, but wherever these are going to be sold, maybe. So several other books here. The Startup. This is a look at a superhero book. Another one with Darin Henry. This one art by Craig Rousseau, who is, I believe, does work for Marvel, right? And it's just a kind of
I know him
professional.
Yeah, didn't he do I thought he did some top shelf stuff. Maybe I'm
I can't remember. No,
no, he's obviously a pro though. Obviously a pro. I know his name.
Yes. So yeah, production value, and believe me, these feel great in the hand. It's a thick comic, dude, that actually feels great. And there's no ads except for the fun ads that he wrote in some of them. The next one, this Telepathetic. This one, if this were a Scholastic book in a smaller trim size, this is a right today potential bestseller about kids who get telepathic powers. Now, this one, the art is, I don't know, Blair Shed. But I'm going to say this is right up there with anything being published by a DC or whatever in their young adult, all ages stuff, Scholastic.
Yeah.
It's not Raina, but it's good. Like, this is a skilled cartoonist telling a fun story for kids, right? This one.
How about that? Funny books for kids.
Well, who'd have thunk it? Okay, there's more issues of Blue Baron. And there's, Barbara McCobb's Morbid Museum. Again, pencil and art by Al Milgram.
Huh.
I just
hope these guys had fun putting this together, because this is a friggin' joy to look at. How do we not know about this stuff though, right? I mean, that should be, I don't know, that's incredible. That these things exist. Somebody needs to do some marketing, man.
Somebody needs like some kind of show that specializes in showing real comics that nobody looks at. Oh, wait a sec.
Yeah.
It's our mission. That's our raison d'etre.
There you go.
Here. Okay, wait a minute. I'm turn that thing off. All right, we're not done yet because I still haven't told you the most exciting thing to me.
Yeah, you said save the last one.
Yeah, well, it's not even one of the comics. It's not even that. That was wrong because it's not even the comic. It's that he told me they're working on getting into Diamond previews for 2020, which is great. That's where you want to be.
Yeah.
And he goes, oh, we're working on this new one. I had the letter. I lost. Oh, wait. Is this it? Yes. Okay. There we go. Hey, Dan. Saw your video requesting comics to review, so here are some of mine. My binge books will be making the jump to Diamond next year with the Heroes Union #1 by, and tell me if you've heard of any of these names, Larry. Roger Stern, Ron Friends, Sal Buscema, Tom DeFalco.
Wow.
How about David Michelini?
Yeah, that's amazing.
Are also on board. Let me know what you think of my comics at editor@sitcomics.net, who I haven't written back to him yet. I'm going to for sure in him towards the show.
Send him the link for this, right? Nice
we're bringing him
letter.
in. And if he feels like bringing in Michelini and Stern and Friends and DeFalco, I guess that'd be okay. I guess
that's amazing.
Tell me, who is a more underrated but greater writer than, say, Roger Stern or David Michelini in like mainstream modern comics?
Yeah, I don't know. Those are the guys you want on your team, that's for sure.
Who's better? Yeah, who's better than that? But rated less? No one. No, because nobody really talks about those guys anymore.
That's kind of a sweet spot.
Oh my gosh!
I want to write the press release for that, though. That's amazing. Darin Henry coming out of nowhere.
This has been in the market since 2018.
Oh, I mean, but so that's 2 years that it could have been in Diamond Comics, right?
That's what I'm saying. How it's not in Diamond Comics.
Yeah.
With Milgram and Friends and whatever. Okay.
I'll tell you one thing. The fun that they had doing this comes off just by looking at the covers and passing the flip test, and
not just that, that professionalism of those people. You can't make this look as fun as it is without a lot of talent and experience.
Yeah, I agree.
Any of this stuff, it's reeking of the highest level of skills by masters, even late in their years.
Yeah, but
they got it, dude. No doubt. Love it. Okay, now let's switch from the old guard to the new guard. And let's talk about Oh Fuck Why. Oh Fuck Why.
Yeah.
These guys. Okay, so I first saw this stuff. It's the comic that gets you high, by the way. So I saw this stuff in William Hoffneck's 100% anthology when I did the guy who does the Make More Comics thing, right?
Yeah.
He published several pages of this stuff in black and white in there. And even there, I'm like, this stuff, these guys are good. Like, they know what they're doing. Okay. But I wasn't prepared, Larry. I wasn't, because this is full color. Okay. And this is a full saddle stitch comic. Now, it's not perfect. I got a couple of qualms about, I want more of a masthead. I want more credits up front. But I want you to start looking at this stuff. And I want you to look at, how hard it would be to create this in, the 90s or something, a color comic that looks this good. Nice, glossy, full color pages. It tells the story of our party people in the not too distant future. A radioactively contaminated rat gets into the lab-grown meat facility. They all kind of hang out, which is it's modern living. These kids live at home in the not too distant future. They do VR stream casting. They're living in the real world, but they're in the cyber world. It's where we are totally headed. And they just sit around and do drugs and play video games. But so they're sitting on the couch passing the doob, but in online, they're conquering and they're doing whatever they're doing. Good stuff. But little do we know that the radioactive tacos being delivered by drone are being intercepted by a Cthulhu-like creature and just leading to just crazy shenanigans. It's Freak Brothers 2020. Super fun. The guys get superpowers from the radioactive tacos. and metamorphosize throughout the book. They got this is great, his Nana's bong.
She's got glaucoma. Yeah, that's cool. Fantastic. I like that.
It's great. And the bong pays off later on in a scene. It's really good. The coloring is my favorite part for sure, but I love everything about it. I really like the art. And the story is just crazy. It's just crazy fun. It's just it's fantastic.
Yeah. Yeah, that's pretty slick.
So you can check these guys out at Cosmic Lion. And actually, you can kind of see the pages getting better and better, too, as they're going along. I really like the color. It feels rich and warm to me in a way comics don't always. Modern colored comics. This looks fun to read. You might read these in High Times or something.
That's a really nice observation. That you're just basically saying, looking at this art makes me feel better.
Yeah,
you know?
It does.
Yeah, that's sweet.
It's just like it's enriching. It's just there's a richness to it. Like when you look at a really beautiful thing or a painting or whatever, just the surface, the photons reflecting off it or whatever.
Yeah.
Make me happy.
And then
giant shit monsters. Okay.
What's this called? Oh fuck why? Is that it?
Oh fuck why?
That's
giant shit monsters fighting Cthulhu type things. And of course, so but it all ends, and what's it say here? To be continued in a giant number 2. So you just got me.
Yeah.
Beginning to end.
Yeah, that's great.
Oh, cover price, Lair.
There you go. $4.20.
Well, get it. We like
get it. That's great.
Get it.
Yeah,
but seriously, folks, come on. This is a limited edition, I think, of 100 that were printed as like a test printing, and I got one from these guys. And
that's not Sal Cipriano in there, is it? The last guy? Does it say? It must be, right?
Here's my qualms: is the credits are here, buried, and they're hard to read. Sal Cipriano letters.
Yeah, good job, Sal.
You know Sal?
He's a pal of mine from way back.
We got Morgan Hickman on colors, and let me just say, kudos to Hickman, the other Hickman. Ben Granoff draws the pictures. That's the official credit. Brendan Sokler creates and writes. Blake Maloof also created and writes. Oh, fuck, why? The comic that gets you high. And I'm high on life and Jesus Christ and comic books and everything else, Larry. That's all I need. But wait a minute. You want to really get high, Larry? Do you get high? Let's get high, Larry.
Yeah. What do you got?
Dude, this one. I love this. I loved it. I looked at it first and I thought, I'm like, whatever. And then I read it. And I love Psychonaut Presents.
That's cool.
Okay. This guy, Daniel Moeller, is a scholar and a heavy drug user. There's no he's a scholar about heavy drug use.
Oh. Gotta love that.
He does. Yeah, he takes drugs and explores his psyche. And he meets famous people that take famous drugs and do famous things. So wait, let's start. We'll look at his first issue first. And let's look at the progression, Larry, because this is Psychonaut Presents #1, Mother Vine. Signed, Keep It Psycho, Moeller 2020. Oh, I got a letter. Hi, Dan. Oh, wait, no, I'm sorry. This was about the last comic. I'm sorry, I missed the letter. Thank you so much for the kind words about our high out comic about poop monsters and radioactive tacos and the spirit of passing the good to the left-hand side. We want to bequeath you this book. Hope you enjoy it and read it impaired if possible. Always. In one way or another. Salutations, good health, and good wishes, and maybe a fatty, Brendan. P.S. This is one of 30 test printings. I hope you feel as special as we do about this book, and I do. I honestly do. Thank you. Thank you, Brendan.
I love that. That's a bit that people sometimes miss, that when you're shipping comics to somebody and you're hoping for some feedback, a lot of people forget to write a little something and
put
say,
a letter. Are you kidding me?
Not just that. I mean, not even just the most basic, here's my contact information. Here's why I'm sending this to you. But something like that, that's shows some personality. That's just a lost art in the days of, quick emails.
Well, I actually asked for this. I've been putting out the appeal in a few messages. I'm like, please put a letter in there. Put something. Don't just stuff your book in an envelope.
But you gotta tell people that. It strikes me as odd, you know.
Give me sticker. Oh wait, so I follow your channel. Hi Dan, I follow your channel and saw that you are willing to review some indie comics. Here are mine. Enjoy. Keep it psycho. Daniel Moeller. You can check out danielmoellerweb.com. He's got a fantastic website. Actually, it is.
Wow.
I was like, wow, it's better than my website for sure. Comicbooknews.tv. If you haven't checked it out. But let's look at Psychonaut, man. What's a Psychonaut? It's
already. It's got astronauts. I love it.
Yeah, I knew this is straight up your alley. The logo is an astronaut, the Psychonaut, right?
Nice.
Okay, so he's exploring the Nooscape, N-O-O-scape, I guess, which means like drugscape, I think, like drug enhanced. But man, I thought it was just going to be like, dude, I do drugs and I trip out, bro. It's not. It's really about, this issue describes an ayahuasca trip and how he uses it to get in touch with his certain parts of himself and his connection to humanity and reality. It's really about using drugs to improve yourself. In our area,
your usual stoner, unless you're Dave Sim, right, is not going to produce work, much less that kind of entertaining stuff at a professional level, right? You're just going to be like, hey, Golden Girls is on, man. But sitting down in front of your table and going, even if it's afterwards, right? You still remember the story you're trying to tell. This is great. I love it.
Oh, dude, he's fantastic. I really thought at first, I was like, I'm not going to enjoy it. It's going to be just whatever. I like drugs. It's not. It's a deeper examination of what it means to do certain types of, what do you call them? Hallucinogenics. So this was the first issue. Let me see. There was It
really has that sort of post-Turtles black and white boom kind of look to it, which I think is an amazing compliment. I know some people, I love black and white books. When you were going off on the color of the last one, I'm like, that's cool.
Well, okay, Larry, but this one is not black and white though. This is a 2-color book. Is it? So there's a green ink here.
Oh yeah, I just thought that was the paper it was on.
No, that's not just glare. No, this is like a 2-color printing, I guess. And actually, if you look at the first couple pages, it's
there you
color.
go. Yeah.
So it really is a full color printing. I think these are just palette choices on full color printing. I think. But wait,
I just didn't see it because I was on drugs.
Well, it's hard to see sometimes. But wait a minute, let's look. And he ends with the Psychonaut glossary.
I love it.
He talks about the different terminologies, what ayahuasca is, what an ayahuasquero or ayahuasquera is, a shamanic healer who uses that medicine. I learned stuff, man, reading this.
When we did books, we did that
too. I licked it too, and let me tell you, we
did that all the time, right? You put your glossaries and your, for further study and stuff. We did that with Seven Sons and Tony Talbert's books. You put stuff in there like that, and it really adds to the experience.
Okay, but I'm going to say this guy leveled up on number 2, hardcore. Just the cover alone, Larry. Tell me, you don't see
it's cleaner and it's cleaner in the logo. The trade dress is.
Look at the logo. Yeah, look at the logo. Look at just the drawing itself, the perspective, the background, everything. I like everything, include the placement of his name.
I agree.
Everything's better. Everything's better.
I agree.
Psychonaut number 2, Dark Medicine, and including now he's like, what? Why did I pay for full color again and then only use 2 colors? I'm busting out my Crayolas and doing a great job. Look at this.
Yeah, there you go. I love it.
Using color as lighting effects.
Yeah.
The way it should be, right?
I was just going to say the light placement's really compelling, actually. And I like the difference between outside and inside on the same page. That's pretty cool.
Sure, different color temperatures and whatnots, right? And now we get into another. He's going to do another drug trip. This time, setting up like a mesa, like an altar for himself with important things to himself, and that his shaman helped him choose. Goes through some of the history and the usage of ayahuasca. They also use tobacco in these rituals combined with different drugs. Goes into cultural ramifications. It's really it's fun stuff. But it's not all just a learning trip. We get some nice psychedelic action. We get your inner self worm devouring your brain in real time. You get here we go. Time for the masks to come off. Check it. So the brain, the thing comes out, rips his own face off. And all of this dialogue is pretty useful and interesting. It's either describing the ritual in detail or talking about sort of the mental changes he's going through as he's doing it. Nice little psychonaut. Look at that. That is fun. And we got a backup feature, Simon Myth and Maxwell Echo III. Also created and illustrated by Mr. Moeller, and just in a different kind of style, but really cool looking, fun to look at.
Okay, the art style isn't very similar, but it kind of reminds me of Rick Geary. Do you know that artist?
Yeah. Oh, one of my all-time favorites.
Yeah, yeah.
Sure.
Like see the page on the left, it's just got that sort of like straightforward storytelling that Rick Geary does.
I would say Geary is an influence on this guy for certain. Yeah. When I look at, now that you mentioned that, I look at all of his artwork. I would bet you he likes Geary. You ever read Cyber Antics by Rick Geary, by the way, Larry?
No, I don't think so.
Oh, that is the ultimate Rick Geary book, though.
Yeah, is it?
It is the ultimate.
I love all that Victorian stuff that Geary does.
Dude, this is science fiction.
Yeah, really? I'll check it out.
This is directly related to the Aliens franchise.
Oh, yeah? What's it called?
Cyber Antics, Larry. And if you can't find one,
I'll check it out.
I've got a copy of it. It is the weirdest. It's a children's book.
What? Children's aliens book?
It's a children's book written from the point of view of a cybernetic ant.
Huh.
That was created by the doctor who created a cybernetic alien in an Alien miniseries. They published this as a weird spin-off. I'll bring it in just to show you sometime, Larry. I bought 2 copies of it. I think I have an extra copy. I might just send you one.
That's crazy. Yeah.
Anyway, wow, I got really sidetracked there. I got really sidetracked there. I'm sorry, but come on, Rick Geary, Cyber Antics.
No, but that's talking about comics, right? It's all related.
And then here's the thing, though, that makes me Daniel Moeller. If you're watching this and you don't send me a Psychonaut sweatshirt or T-shirt to wear on this show, I'm just going to say you're missing a golden marketing opportunity. That's all I'm going to say. Not to mention coffee mug and tote bag.
The merch. I love it.
Because this is a great book. This guy, let me tell you about Daniel Moeller for a second. Creator of the Psychonaut Presents comic book series, among other numerous books, such as, and this is the one, he's burying the lead. I want to read The Shamanic Kabbalah, a mystical path to uniting the tree of life and the great work. Red Mass and something called Machine Elves 101. How do I not want to read everything this guy's doing?
That's awesome.
Daniel Moeller, Psychonaut Presents.
Yeah,
I want to bring the guy into the show.
You should. Thanks for sending that stuff, and thanks for letting me look at it. That's pretty cool.
He's on my list, dude.
I don't know if those are cactuses coming out, or pickles, or what's coming out of that
pickles. I think they're cacti. Yeah. I remember there's a cactus part. Oh yeah, it's cacti. They're like
agave or something.
Yeah, some kind of hippie psycho whatnot. Okay, now this is another professional comic, so it's not really fair because it's been published. This was published by Ad House Books, but and another guy that I want to bring in here, but Matt Lesniewski. It was nominated. I mean, it's Eisner nominated. So what are we going to tell this guy that he? But I wanted to expose some people to it because I had not heard. I think I'd heard of it, but never read it. And then I looked at it. He sent me this copy for free. That's the kind of cheapskate I am. But it took that. But dude, this is wonderful. Okay, and then I open it up. Introduction by Jim Rugg. So right away, I'm like, oh, okay. So
and doing all the right stuff.
But this is about the freak. Okay, it's really, this might be hard to see on the MDCC unless I turn the gain down a little bit. But this is the freak. Okay, he's the ugliest man in the world, and he's picked up from his small town. He's a ditch digger, and he's moved to the big city to make it as a ditch digger. In his small town, everybody hates him, and they just beat the crap out of him if they see him. And he moves to the big city, hoping things will be different. And it is different, but worse, because everybody still hates them. Instantly, as soon as he's sighted, he's just beaten for his hideous looks. And he says, he goes, it's even worse because here in the big city, there's way more of them, and they hit me in places they never hit me. Back them out. So he's just a tormented soul, beaten and even uglier.
Is this just they shoot off the pencils, or this looks kind of?
It's ink. No, it's ink. It's real hard.
Ink?
It's real hard. It's going to be hard for me here.
Yeah.
But I think if you look at this on a big screen, it'll look a lot better.
Yeah.
The art is beautiful, frankly. The guy is a really skilled artist. And not just that, like, making funny looking dudes, but like just at crowd scenes and everything, action scenes, everything is here in this comic. He finds his own community of freaks, but he has too much bitterness inside of him for the people that wronged him. And he's shunned by the freaks community because of his desire for revenge. He wants to take his shovel and murder normies in revenge for everything they have done to the freaks, his friends and everything else. And he's willing, he feels better just because he knows he's not alone. Like, he's lonely because he's not with them, but he knows he's not alone. And so he takes solace in this. It's highly allegorical, I think, obviously.
Let's hope, right? I'd hate for this to be, an autobiography.
And let's check out these pinups at the end.
Yeah.
Very beautiful stuff. What I'm going to say, here's my pull quote. Do you know who Trad Moore is, Larry?
Chad Moore? No.
Trad Moore. Okay.
Yeah.
He's a hot dude. He's been doing Silver Surfer and stuff lately. He came from Luther Strode. He did his own indie book. He's got a crazy, wild style like you'd never seen in mainstream comics. And he's doing some badass stuff in the mainstream. So what I'm going to say is Matt Lesniewski he's not the next Trad Moore. He's the first Matt Lesniewski.
Yeah. Okay? I love that guy's art.
This dude could go mainstream easily. He could draw Marvel Comics, DC Comics today, or DC or Dark Horse or anything.
Is that this year's Eisner nom? Or last year's?
It says it doesn't have a year on it. Let me check the publication date on this one. This is from Ad House Books, by the way. This was published in 2019.
Yeah. So,
fantastic. Another great one from Chris Pitzer and the folks over at Ad House.
Yeah, I love that. That's great.
Who every single thing, every book they've ever put out has a mark of quality, both in its production values and in its selection and editorial choices. What else have I got here, Larry? All right. So, we got one more, This one's been on my list for a while. We had this guy in and we interviewed him. but I didn't want to interview a comic to somebody's face. My wife said you shouldn't do that, whether you like it or dislike it or whatever. And I go, I really can't remember Siskel and Ebert bringing in a movie director and slamming a movie or whatever to their face. It's just not a thing you do, I guess.
See, that's the kind of thing I would insist that you do then. Just because it is so wrong. I mean, you could do that to somebody like me. Because, you know,
talk about Cyberfrog for a second, Larry. I know I could do it to you, but this was no doubt, my most controversial interview of all time.
No doubt.
I caught heat from everyone except Larry.
Yeah,
Larry's
I knew what you were doing.
Larry's like, "What? You want to talk to a dude? Oh, okay, that's a problem to be like what?" So anyway,
the internet, man.
He sent me this book. It came with some ash cans. It came with some stickers.
Speak the devil's name, man. You got to tell people about it in case every episode is somebody's first episode, right?
Oh, we will. Yeah, no, we're talking about Cyberfrog. We're talking about Ethan Van Sciver's Cyberfrog.
Ethan Van Sciver.
We had he came in and we talked to him. It was a little controversial. Nobody really liked the interview. I enjoyed it. I had fun. But anyway, the guy sent me this stuff, and I figured that we could. The least I'm going to do is talk about it. Now, I'm going to try to be honest about it. Like, this is not for me. Like a lot of comics, I read a lot of comics. They're not all for me. Larry, you're the king of things are not for everybody, right?
Right. And even stuff that has wide commercial appeal, the person might not be ready yet. I was telling Walker about this, my son Walker, that Matt Wagner, like super cool guy, one of my favorite people in comics. He when he first did that Grendel Kamiko Presents thing with the first appearance of Grendel, that was not very good art. But the story was phenomenal, and it was only a story that one person could tell. And it was so good that you kind of like the audience spotted like, well, I know what this guy is doing here, and I'm going to read it, even though it's not the kind of quality you expect at this point. And then he became, spectacular, all-time, Hall of Fame guy. But sometimes stuff just isn't for you. What are you going to do? You shouldn't apologize. Shouldn't apologize for that.
I'm just saying, it's aiming at a type of comic reader maybe that I don't read anymore. Also, there are a lot of things that were meant to appeal to things that are exactly the opposite of what I like. like literally, if you're gonna design a thing, I wished he had sent me the non-hollow foil cover. This is the sought after thing, but I hate them.
I'm with you. You don't need the bells and whistles if you got a good comic.
The other cover is quite a nice drawing of the other character, the Salamandroid. I was kind of hoping for that. It's a cool picture. He also sent these mini comics of the early works. These are like ash can editions, I guess, of the old Cyberfrog comics that came out in the 90s for some backstory. But honestly, if you're reading a comic, you shouldn't have to have read a bunch of backstory. So I tried not to focus on those. I wanted to focus on the comic. Okay, you open it up. Besides the holofoil cover, what I do like is on the inside, there's an autograph section, like we were talking about on the other one, right? Smart move. Smart commercial move. And I want to say, this is supposedly, he told me this thing goes for $100 or something on eBay.
What? That's awesome.
Supposedly. If anybody wants it, they can get, I'm going to autograph it right now.
I kind of don't doubt it, right? There's a collector who this stuff appeals to, right?
Thanks for watching.
I don't doubt this is going for $100. I'll give you $100 for that one.
Sold, Larry. I might put it up for auction. That's the first offer right there. Okay.
The one you're defacing.
No, I'm autographing it. This is the official. If you are an Ethan fan, you watched our interview for sure, and you know what a soy boy cuck I am and whatever, so you'll want this.
That's the only one that there is, too, right? Well, you get Ethan to sign that too. That's like a $200.
No, it is.
Oh, it is signed? Oh, come
in silver
on.
ink. In
Yeah,
silver ink.
you
But
should
now
get.
it's a sketch cover, so I got a sketch.
Oh
Okay.
my God.
Cyber Frog, Blood Honey. Okay. Ethan Van Sciver is an extreme. I would put him at the. I'm not going to call him a top tier comics artist. Like he's not in a Frank Miller auteur territory. But as far as like high end mainstream pencilers, he's up there. Green Lantern. Man, I was first saw his work in New X-Men by Grant Morrison, and I really enjoyed it. I mean, it wasn't Frank Quitely, which was awesome. It was kind of a jarring switch, but it was good enough that it held up, it stacked up. The guy can draw, no doubt about it. This has been a character he's been drawing since he was a little kid.
Is it really?
Yeah. I mean, since he was a child with, with his brother, Noah Van Sciver, also accomplished cartoonist of a different ilk. Like the guy could draw. There's no doubt about it. He can draw mainstream comics. The writing.
Well, yeah, I mean, anybody who draws Green Lantern for a while can do mainstream books, right?
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. Sexy chicks. It's not a pose, not a human pose per se. It's not a,
yeah.
But it's a good drawing. It's a pretty drawing. When we get into these crazy insects and these crazy hive stuff, it's kind of cool. So it starts off, it's sort of like playing off of the 90s story, which was sort of like, I don't know, he's a Deadpool, he's a wacky character, a lot of quips and stuff, which is always weird for me for an alien type character, but whatever. In 1998 is, I guess, when he had landed or was part of this, and we go back in 1998 because we know it's 1998 because Bill Clinton is here. And he's testifying in the Monica Lewinsky impeachment hearings. Just give us a little reminder of what was going on.
Sure.
You get it. You got it. The idea is, though, that the Cyber Frog, there's an attack from these cool wasp characters. They use human blood to make their honey. It's and the Cyber Frog fights him and attacks him and is thrown into suspended animation. And he wakes up at the end of the book in the now, and now it's Walking Dead. Now the book is Walking Dead. It went from 90s superhero into like Walking Dead. It's the Earth has been taken over by these honeybee wasp thingamajiggies. And, society is roving packs of humans hiding from them. And the Cyber Frog has now come to save humanity from Earth that has been plunged into this darkness.
How bad can, go back. How bad can society be, though, if the girls have clean laundry and can take showers? Because she spent some time. She spent some time in her hair, too. That's really civilization.
Product is still available. Makeup is still available. For sure, Larry. Come on. We're not animals.
Oh, anyway.
That's one of my biggest problems in movies sometimes.
Yeah.
Is especially when, like, I forget which movie it was. It was a Mission Impossible, I think. And Tom Cruise wakes up next to a girl who's this, like, super beautiful. I forget which one. But she's wearing so much makeup, and it's like you had sex, you just woke up in the morning, and you're like, you are fully made up. I don't understand it.
You know what always gets me is Rene Rousseau in that virus movie. What was that called? Outbreak. Uh-huh. And she, back then Rene Rousseau was just like top shelf movie actress, and she gets the virus that's killing everybody, like the COVID. And she's just got like this little sheen of sweat on her brow. Everybody else is turning into like pustules, and bile and stuff, and she's just like, "Is it hot in here? I think I have the outbreak." Oh my god!
And then you always go like, "Did she push back? Did her agent push back?" I'm like, "Let's make her sick, but not too sick." Like I know it's pandemic, but
what always gets me is the Vikings with white teeth. It's like. That
Good.
it's
I
like,
never thought
oh,
about that. Knights too, like
yeah,
medieval
no,
knights
just
and stuff. They should have messed
anybody
up
in any
grills.
period thing that has white teeth, just perfect white teeth,
Oh.
cracks me up. It's like, no, you're really a California waitress at the, that's you're not a girl from the distant past. Whatever.
Okay, so here's the thing. If this book came out like as a monthly comic and it came out in a month and I paid, I don't know, for this is a hefty package, a lot of pages, a lot of backup material, cyber foil cover, whatever. I wouldn't pay extra for that cover. But like if this was just a comic in today's market with what you pay for comics, I would be willing to maybe say $7.99 wouldn't be an unreasonable price. $7, $8.99 is the most I might be willing to pay. And I don't know if I'm back for number 2. Although, trading cards. It came with 2. Let's open the trading cards. Maybe I got the hollow foil. If anybody wants to trade, I got I got the Cyberfrog and the Salamandroid rookies.
The rookie cards. You know me. I love the extra swag and I love the merch and stuff, but there's a point where it gets too slick. Like I was kind of even with them with the hollow cover, and then you show me the cards and the foil wrap packaging. There's a lot of infrastructure that goes into getting something like that.
No, I want to be fair. These are perks that they had to hit certain levels.
No, I get it.
Yeah.
I get, what it's doing. I just don't think that adds any value that people think it does. You know what I mean? It's like,
I agree.
I don't know. At what point do you let the fun of having swag take over the work speaking for itself?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I don't know.
A fine
line. And they put out he put out some pretty cool stuff. There's like an action figure of that Salamandroid thing. Like they did a whole PVC figure that looked pretty cool and stuff.
Yeah.
I could see into toys and games and tchotchkes and the like.
But that starts getting super slick. That's all.
Yeah, dude, and I'm not begrudging anybody who's into that. Like that's their entry into this hobby, if you will. But I don't view comics as a hobby so much as I view them as a form of entertainment and literature, I guess.
Yeah, a media stream. That's what it's another storytelling medium to me,
So the comics have to be there. That's all. That's all I'm saying. Like it's the comics, the thing itself. And for Cyberfrog, I'm going to give it a solid C+. It is above average.
Yeah.
The art is very good. If I waited a year for this thing, I don't know that I'm happy paying $50 or whatever I had to pay for it. But that's me.
Can I just say I remember that from the 90s and I walked by it. That's not my thing at all. Cyberfrog, right? I mean, I don't know.
It's okay. I'm not.
I was all about.
I don't want to be any mean to the guy. I was pretty mean to him in the interview. Kind of a little bit rude.
Oh.
In a way I'm not super proud of.
I gotcha. Yeah, emotions run high. That's the cool thing I love about comics and movies and TV and stuff. That people who like it really like it. Even professional sports. Like in San Francisco during football season, you'd see fist fights all the time. And, you never see that in our city. But people, when they enjoy their entertainment, they really enjoy it, and it means something. So, I can see where somebody would get mad at somebody if you have a disagreement.
Oh, wait, we got some comments here. Wait a second. Okay, I'm going to go into. You ready to dip into some?
Yeah.
Woohoo! Hey Dan, but from who? Daniel Moeller.
Nice job,
Daniel. Reach out to me.
I want to take drugs right now because of you, Daniel.
Yeah, if nothing else, I need to get your connections. I need to, Just kidding. I think your comics are great. I think what you're putting out there is unique and interesting. The thing I'm going to compare it the closest to is maybe like a former Comic Book News guest and comics pedagogy expert Larry Gonick, another famous Larry we love.
I was thinking about Ryan Clater stuff.
Oh, who you mean? This guy? Ryan Clater?
I was like, I was just going to, now I feel bad. I was just going to say something super nice, and it's gonna look like I'm playing to the crowd. But like on Ryan's thing, I really like that, and I feel the same way about Daniel's stuff. That I was like, wow, there's something that I actually am happy Dan showed me, and I get to look at it, and I'll seek it out later. I'm all over Ryan's Facebook now. I haven't actually plunked down his books yet.
Have you looked at his?
All that pinball stuff was amazing. Have
you looked at his right up my alley stuff that he did, Larry?
Yeah.
If you need custom neon, that's the man. He loves that I have a ginseng root comic around at all times. I do. I try to have it like within fingertip reach if I can. Coffee Breath, longtime supporter, says sup. Extreme Hot Dog says
that's my kid. Walker Young.
Okay. Sweet.
Extreme Hot Dog. Check out his YouTube channel.
Oh, yeah.
Harrisburg, yes.
What's your show, Larry? What's your show called again? Your YouTube channel?
The one I do with Walker? That's Dork Court.
Even better. Way better.
Yeah, Dork Court. But yeah, Harrisburg. Hey, guys.
Why don't you read this one, Larry?
Hail, Dan and Larry. We got a movie to attend at 7 and a stream to mod at 8, but stopping by to say it's great to see 7-figure mailbox in action. Our number 2 issue's out next week and coming your way soon. Nice job.
Sick. Love it.
Doing the work. We've worked with Eddie Spaghetti, the lead singer of Super Suckers. He's a fun guy. Sitcom comics is a good idea. We've actually read Blue Baron and Startup.
Okay.
All right.
I haven't yet, and I apologize. Why would I bring them in here? I didn't read them all. Sorry. 64 pages of content each. It's just too rich. My diet is used to such a thin gruel of decompressed comics in a stream. You know what I mean, Larry? Like,
I do too much. I know what you mean.
You ever pick up like an old comic, like a 70s comic, and you go like, kablamo, what are you, like, how much am I supposed to read?
I'm actually reading Collected Warlord right now. And there is a big adjustment that you have to do. It's like, there's the whole rule of 25 words a word balloon now, the modern rule. Yeah, no, it was 25 words per square inch in the old days.
I think we need to throw out all those rules.
I agree 100%. Just do your comic.
Just that's like the pace of the comic is the pace of the comic.
Yeah, that's what I like about Daniel's stuff. He's not really paying attention to strict, formalized comic book storytelling rules. And
not even rules, right? The modern, whatever you want to call it, myths.
It's just formalized stuff that's accreted over the years.
Like, guys, can I tell you this? Can I just tell you that if you're a mainstream comic or whatever, you don't have to write 6-issue story arcs that are collected into a trade pair. Did you know
comics used to not do that?
Did you know that your story doesn't have to have 6 identically length chapters? Like it's just like use the medium for what it is. I don't know. Not happy with that situation.
That was one of the things I liked most about going right to original graphic novels. Like that whole thing went away. Like we did the 3-issue, like Space 1959 was like 22 pages, 22 pages, 22 pages, 72 pages collected. And that's after a while you stop using your brain, And so just doing original graphics is like, no, now I have 72 pages from beginning to end. I can do whatever the hell I want.
Yeah. I agree. I mean, there's not enough attention paid to that, like how that dictates the form and like the rhythm of the story. If you're going for this 6 chapters, serialized 28 pages or whatever, what if you want to have a 2-page chapter? And then what if you want to have a 100-page chapter? It just doesn't make sense.
I get formalized storytelling things like Commandy always had a 2-page splash on page 2 and 3. And there's that the mechanism of actually turning the page gives you kind of like an opportunity for like a sort of mini cliffhanger every time you turn the page. I get that.
Which one?
So Jack Kirby's Commandy,
Oh yeah, yeah,
The
yeah.
Last Boy on Earth. It was structured so page 2 and 3 was always a 2-page splash, and I
Right.
get that because that's just a structure thing.
Yeah.
But then just regular comics, when you physically turn the page, it gives you an opportunity as a writer to do sort of a mini cliffhanger. Because
Yes.
as you read, you actually have to stop and go, ugh, But
Agree.
that's a
Like if you
structure thing.
And you have to know how it's going to be printed, because if you don't have to know that the page is going to turn, then you're going to reveal your secret and you're going to blow your load or whatever. That's why, yeah, and that's why actually interesting. Oftentimes in anthology comics and stuff, they'll insert a page, sometimes between stories, and I think it's just for that, to get the page rhythm back.
Yeah. Can I tell you a great anecdote about that?
Sure.
We collected, after Astronauts in Trouble, we collected Nobody. That was an Oni Press book that Charlie Adler drew, so it kind of made sense for us to collect it. I don't know why Oni didn't. They might not have thought it was commercial enough, but for us, having 2 Charlie Adler books, that makes sense. But for some reason, I don't think this was Charlie's fault. It might have been I don't know whose fault it was, but for some reason they had a double page splash, but misfigured what pages it was going on.
Oh no!
And so Oni just put an ad in, like on page 3, right? And so it's disconcerting, but it didn't really matter. But when you collect it, now we have a problem, right?
Yeah, okay.
So when we collected the book, we actually had Charlie draw a page for that. So there's a bit, as speaking of pacing, in the story, the main character is walking into a dark room through a doorway. And so from one page, she opens the door, and the next page, it's a 180-degree turn. She's coming in the door from inside the room, right? But now there's a page that has to happen. So there's an entire page of 4 panels of her walking through the door.
Right.
So there's things you can do, but you really do have to pay attention where you are on the page.
It's kind of interesting. It's one of the things in comics that you don't have to think about in any other kind of written storytelling, like turning the page.
Right.
There have been a couple novels maybe where they do that. There's a few novels where they'll pull tricks on you with like super small chapters with like a whammy or something like that.
Yeah. No, there's stuff you can do, but not as a function of the form.
Yeah, right.
Like,
okay, let's keep going here. Eli Schwab was one of the guys involved with the book. Thanks for covering this, Dan. He's not involved with Dark Medicine. Eli's involved with the Oh Fuck Why.
I did I get why you can't put that on the cover, but I did really appreciate when you open it up, it does spell out "Oh fuck, why," like that.
I debated whether to put that in the description. I went for the asterisk version.
Yeah,
because that's on the cover. To be fair, right. And I don't want to hamstring our YouTube chances. I mean, we've got 6 people.
No, there's right now. You got to color in the lines sometimes, right?
All right. So what else? Eli said, "Yeah, thanks for covering Dark Medicine so good." Oh, wait a minute. Here's another name you might have heard of before. Elliot Brown.
Nice. Elliot S. Brown.
Elliot R. Brown.
No, Elliot S. Maggin. That's who I'm thinking of.
Yeah, Elliot R. Brown, Larry. If you don't know, he's going to be coming in a couple weeks back to the show. He's the guy who does all the diagrams.
Yeah, the schematics. Yeah. No, I just messed up his middle name. I know exactly.
Yeah, we love Elliot. He's one of my heroes since I was a little kid.
Yeah, absolutely.
Comics.
Absolutely.
I knew his drawings.
In fact, before I even knew what ADHD was, I thought Elliot had it.
I'll bet you he might agree. And the guy's self-taught in so many ways, and such a man. Do you know he did every single photo cover Marvel ever did?
Yeah, I remember the famous Peter Parker one.
He's in that photo.
Yeah, that's the one I know.
He's the photographer. He literally took the picture, but he's also the guy holding the camera in the background.
That's great. Yeah.
He'll live forever from that, and many things. Some Vikings had good teeth. It's just
I enjoy. He thinks I'm cynical. That's great.
I guess this is a good point. Some people do have naturally straight teeth and always have, right? They must have, and
I was just thinking, as a former orthodontics laboratory guy, they can have straight teeth. I just meant there was no dental hygiene in the
they should have been
900s.
filthy. All right, what else we got here? Oh, Mr. Self-Loather says, I prefer Noah Van Sciver. Picked up a copy of Don't Step on My Jinko Jeans because of your interview with him, and it was great. I agree. One of my favorite little...
Nice.
It can't be my top graphic novel of the year, Larry. I was gonna do a whole thing of my besties and worsties of 2020 right now, but I just didn't get my shit together. I didn't get my act together.
That's gonna happen. You got kids, man.
We'll do that soon. But you know what else we're doing? So you know who we got next week?
Who's coming up?
Gene Yang.
Oh, cool. Gene's awesome.
Yeah, have you
read local
American
boy?
Born Chinese? Yeah. And he's going to be coming in to promote Dragon Hoops, which, Larry, if you haven't read it.
I just, the San Francisco Chronicle just did a big article on it. So I haven't read Dragon Hoops yet, but I did read all the press he's getting on it, and it looks sweet.
Here's the thing, Lair. Those press guys, are not comic guys, right? Like, even if they've read a comic
I don't know. You know Peter Hartlaub. He's a comics guy. I'm going
to question his comic credits right now. I'm questioning it. No, but dude, I'm telling you, I've been around the block. All right, I've read the canon.
Yeah.
Okay. Of graphic novels, and this is high up in the echelons. This is up there. I'll say it again. I compared the closest thing I have to compare it to is Mouse by Spiegelman, and it's stacking up.
Yeah, that's some high praise. All right,
it ain't Mouse. Well, it's not Mouse, but in some ways it's better.
I'll get my money back from Gene if it's not that good.
And then I just reread.
I'll say Dan Shaheen says hi.
Dude, and I just reread American Born Chinese and his Superman Smashes the Klan.
Oh yeah.
And I'm just Gene Yang, top-notch cartoonist.
Yes, no one's saying different on that one.
Okay, we got one last comment here, and then I got a skedaddle there soon. Anyway, Daniel Moeller again. Thanks, Dan and Larry. I'll send you a hoodie. Yeah, I'm wearing a hoodie. Psycho not. And you slip a little something extra in the pocket of the hoodie and whatever, and who knows? I don't know.
It could happen.
Fun episode ever.
Hey, this looks like a dried mushroom of some kind.
What is this?
What am I supposed to do with this? Anyway,
in my old days, Larry, in my town, I live in a place called Arcata, California, and Humboldt County has been the center of the weed industry for just decades.
Ever,
right?
yeah.
Yeah. That's where literally this is
where it came from. Marijuana actually came from there. Yeah.
Some of the best did, that's for sure. Anyway, we've got an area in our town zoned off. It's called the the Cannabis Innovation Zone. Where it's just like a hot up incubator for cannabis startups.
Huh.
Cannabis Innovation Zone. Which
what kind of innovation? Yeah. I guess delivery systems. You get your good tinctures and rubs and stuff now because I'm from the Cheech and Chong days where you learn how to pull your stems and seeds out of the middle of a Pink Floyd album, right?
Yeah, you need a screen. What were those back in the day? You'd go get a lid. You'd go cop a lid.
Yeah. Wear a dime bag.
Lids, Larry? Are you that old? Were you copping lids?
I'm 57, man.
So you're copping lids.
Yeah.
I love it. All right. Well, when I moved here, I knew this town was for me because the Cannabis Innovation Zone is what we called my dorm room back at San Francisco State.
I love that.
For that dumb joke. Larry, thank you so much.
Dan, always a pleasure.
I'll get up another batch of stuff and we'll take a look at it soon. And how do we get that batch? Why? Maybe you, Larry. Maybe you could tell the folks where they could send their.
I know there's a post office box involved.
Yeah.
And as a person who just went to the post office, I implore everyone that wants Dan to care about their books, just wait until after Christmas. There was like 4,000 people in line, and it's taking 17 days. I don't know how they're delivering stuff. No. If you're ready to go, send it to Dan.
Dude, I got a box. I do. There's no waiting in line for me.
So you just walk in.
I just
like they let you just go in without the COVID and everything. They don't make you stand in line until it's your turn. You just go.
I mean, I live in a small town, baby. It's great. There's just it works. It works.
Where is our 95518? Where is that?
Can you tell them the address, Larry?
Comic Book News. Dan Shaheen, P.O. Box 1163. Is it Arcata, California? 95518.
Yes.
So that's north of here, right?
Yeah, Humboldt County.
Is it really Humboldt County? You lucky bastard.
Just north of Eureka.
I was going to say north of Eureka. That's beyond that's beyond Sonoma, right? Humboldt.
Oh, yes, sir. Yes, sir. And Larry, when you're ready, when this thing is all over,
you might as well be on the North Pole, man. That's far away.
This is where everybody's moving, dude. They're all fleeing your plague-infested city like I did 10 years ago. And our real estate market is off the chain now because everybody wants to get out of the city and places like this.
See, I don't live in this city, though. I live on the beach in the city.
Oh, you live in the best. You're the one of the smartest people. You and my buddy Thorsten, he just bought a place in the city, and his whole thing, his second house he's bought in the Sunset. He's like,
right, yeah,
that's where I need to be.
Ocean Beach, man. My big problem is they closed off the Upper Great Highway, so all the kids are using it to walk their dogs and stuff, and that's fine. The old people,
Great Highway?
Yeah, but they made it into a park, which is great, except they let bicyclists on it, which is also fine. Except there's a certain kind of bicyclist that thinks they're Lance Armstrong. So you get like 5 of these guys going 35 miles an hour while some kid is learning how to walk, and it's not good. So when it was a highway, everybody knew, hey, there's cars coming, cross when the light.
I see. Oh, okay. So now everybody's just like lackadaisical.
Right. And now it's just like people are just doing what they want. And
you got Team Oracle or whatever on their bicycles causing trouble.
But my point is, that's what passes for trouble in my neighborhood, right?
Yeah,
the bicyclists are going a little too fast. Please look out for the little kids and the old people, please.
So you're a Sunset guy. I'm a South Beach guy.
Yeah,
I was a Soma South Beach guy. That's definitely where I like.
Soma, yeah. China Basin.
I liked it when it was just an industrial wasteland of garbage and homeless people and nonsense. Now it's beautiful. Man.
Yeah, I never go to that part of the city. Yeah.
I used to kayak out there, McCovey Cove.
Oh, sure, yeah.
And then I'd keep going down, and I'd kayak to like Hunter's Point.
Yeah. My kid has sailing lessons there. That's perfect.
That would be fun. That's what I wanted to get to, but I never did.
Yeah.
All right. Anyway, Larry, thank you so much, dude. I just
Yeah.
This is way more. This is the difference. Like, I only have 2 shows. I got my interview shows, panel shows. Oh, we got a show coming up after Elliot Brown. Hopefully, we're gonna have Steve Jeppy back. And
Jeppy. Yeah, that was a good one.
Panel of retailers, and we'll talk about pandemic and where we're at now in 2021.
Yeah.
Cool.
You're doing the Lord's work, I got to tell you. It's always fun. Whatever you got going on is always entertaining. And you find the coolest stuff.
You ain't seen nothing yet, dude. 2021 is the year. I'm bringing you in on the game show action, whether you like it or not.
All right, cool.
Okay. All right. Thanks again, Larry. I'll see you soon.
Thank you, Dan. We'll see you.
See you, pal. Thank you, folks, for watching the show, making it possible. We still got 6 people watching, all through all that rambling through nothing. What are we talking about? We're talking about comics. Talking with one of my old pals, a guy who really deeply cares about this stuff, and was willing to take some time and look at stuff and give some advice, some pretty valuable commercial advice. I'm going to say many people have paid for this man's advice. If you haven't read True Facts by Larry Young, His book, which was about sort of self-publishing and small press publishing back in the early 2000s or late 90s or one of those. Yeah. And I'm not going to say all the information is still going to hold up to this date. I don't think, because there's crowdfunding wasn't even invented. There was no such Patreon, meant nothing. So like there's differences, but there's going to be a lot of nuts and bolts fundamentals in there. One of his whole thing is he was one of the earliest guys who's like, look, your floppies are great, but get a graphic novel out and you can sell it forever. You can have a case of graphic novels and you are going to sell those things. He was prescient because many people did that. And if they still do, they still can sell graphic novels. The market for graphic novels and comics is exploding. And especially it is exploding in the most non-traditional way that I did not expect. And that makes me incredibly happy. When I see that it's happening from like kids who are just so turned on by comics that they're getting recommended to them at schools and libraries, it's like, what universe are we in? When I was in school, even in high school, very liberal place, and I asked to do The Watchmen as a book report, kind of like in high school, the teacher just could not see it. Just could not open her eyes to the fact that this might be something worth talking about, worth writing about, whatever. I offered to write it twice as long so that I could write about the art and the story. And I got no takers. So I wrote about something else that was not as good, but didn't have pictures. So we're past that point now. It doesn't matter. You're able to put out stuff. You want to put out a thing about how to take drugs and go on a mental trip and improve your soul. You can do that. That's what Daniel Moeller did. And you want to put out a thing about taking drugs and just having crazy fun on the internet. That's what Oh Fuck Why did. You want to put cowboys in the Old West and make them angels? That's what Lucifer did. We looked at such great stuff. Every single thing that I got sent, not a single one of them was something that I did not enjoy in one way or another. Like I didn't deeply enjoy. And many of them sat on my table and I'm like, that thing, that Daniel Moeller stuff, like, okay. And then I read it today and I was just blown away. It was so hard. He mailed it to me for free. I didn't pay anything for it. He sent it to me and it was hard to get me to read it. And I know it's hard for people to even find comics or see them. So that's our mission in 2021, right? Exposure to as many different kinds of comics as we can. And we're printing them. Okay? I don't want your digital comics. There's only one digital comic I received this year that I absolutely am going to read. I haven't finished it yet because it's so long. It's hundreds of pages. Decades in the making. By one of the most respected comic artists of all time. Oh, you haven't read it because it hasn't been published yet. Because you don't run comic book news. You don't know guys like Eric Reynolds. You can't reach out and ask for preview copies of Monsters by Barry Windsor Smith. I've read it. You haven't. I've got it. You don't. It's all right. I'm just kidding around. I'm going to look at it. I'm going to read it. I'm going to reach out to them. Who knows? Maybe we could even get Barry online and talk to him. That would be freaking awesome. What's been really awesome is the support we've seen from all you people out there watching, liking, subscribing, making comments, and most importantly, sending in comics to Comic Book News. So thank you again. We're going to run the final credits. We're going to have a little tiny cameo at the end, and then I'm out of here like Vladimir. We'll see you in the not too distant, unspecified future, otherwise known as next time.
What you reading?
What else?
Spider-Man!
Hey.
He's my best.
I like him a lot myself. Say, listen, speaking of Spider-Man, guess who's going to be on the electric company?
Mason Reese?
No!
Why not? He's doing everything else.
I know that. The man that's going to be on the electric company is none other than Spider-Man.
Get out of it. Easy, let me explain it to you.
What?
Spider-Man is like in a funny book. It's a cartoon guy, you know? I mean, he ain't a real person. It's just a drawing. You know what I mean?
Suit yourself, my man. Suit yourself. Listen, I got a jet on off here. Check my main squeeze in the library. You be cool. I'm gonna check you later.
Yeah, you be cool. You tell me that Spider-Man's going to be in the electric company. I believe that. I got to be some kind of dummy, you know what I mean? But, you know, I wasn't born yesterday. Old Jay Arthur knows when somebody's pulling a joke on him, and I ain't no dummy, you know what I mean? I mean, if I was going to believe that Spider-Man is going to be in the electric company, I'd have to be some kind of a yo-yo, you know what I mean? But, hey, where's my funny book? I bet Easy took it. He's my friend, but you know how he is. He's got to read whatever. Hey, Easy, wait a minute. I'll trade you for a Daffy Duck. No, Easy.